yeah, I'm not really worried about like the result or like, you know, how your aim's looking or whatever, anything like that. Just like purely is what I focus on is just like your decisions, like based on the information you have at the moment. So first thing, I mean, I guess you don't know this obviously at this point, like what they're running and stuff. But I think when you're on this map, you can kind of like expect Widow duel at like coming to mid. I feel like it's like pretty common on this map, common enough to like, you know what I mean? Like you're looking for it on mid. This is the super common peak everyone does. I wonder if you can even kill each other at this range. Maybe now with the 175, probably.
Yeah, I think so with the 175. It's definitely close enough.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Feels like it's less than 200. Maybe not. I don't know. But so I think after pretty quick here, like once you know their comp, I think like in my mind, like if I was playing Widow, if I'm you in this situation, I'm like, okay, I have to flank 24/7. Like you can't really take like a straight up angle most of the time because they're just going to sit behind shield. If they know what they're doing, the Widow is just not going to leave a shield. So I actually don't love coming back to the mid here. Is their Sigma dead? Like, what the fuck is their Sigma doing? Okay, their Sigma's a noob, but like he should be with the team. They should be stacked against what you guys are doing. So I don't know. If you know the Sigma's out of position, then I like taking like the middle angle, but I just think if you're playing as double shield and you don't have double shield, you want to be coming out from weird, like the sides of the map, basically. Places where it's likely they won't have the double shield, like ready for you. And you get some shots off. Versus Miz, like, I don't know what their Sigma's doing on the high ground. It's pretty bad from him, but now you have also all the opportunity to, like, set up here. Figure out where you want to go. Like, honestly, if I were you, right, you just see this Widow die. Like, you know where the Widow was. Your Genji just gets this kill. It's actually a huge kill. Just take her position, right? Like,
yeah, I was thinking of going left, but I just went right for some reason.
yeah, I feel like you made the decision because the Widow was over there, and it would be kind of dumb to like just grapple in or something. But actually, even in this comp, even if you like, you know, whether your teammates are calming or working together or not, like you guys, she shouldn't be able to be here all on her own, right? You know, you guys have Ball and Genji and shit. Like this Genji just solo kills her, which is pretty sick. But like I feel like you could even be wanting to, you should want to be here basically as your default setup. So especially when the enemy Widow dies, that's where you want to go. Because this push, like, I don't know. I don't care really if you hit shots or not. It's just, yeah. See, so like, and the funny thing is you end up taking an angle that is like basically the same thing as this, but just worse, right?
Yeah, I kind of just realized it too late, so I just kept going around the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sure.
One thing to think about then when you're playing Widow, especially when you're on a comp diff Widow, when like you're playing dive Widow and they're playing double shield Widow, is thinking about in each map like what's the power position that you actually want to play, and like you can't always play there, right? You might get pushed out or something, but in my opinion, this map the power position is generally this side of the map because you have a mega and there's a bunch of like really annoying cancer shit on this part, like the peek through this, or you know, you have these windows, you have like so many different angles availability on this side of the map. I feel like it shouldn't even be a thing where you're like thinking about it. It's like you should just be defaulting, I want to be on that high ground. If they stop me from going high ground, okay, whatever, then I'll go somewhere else. But then like starting every fight here, I'm pretty sure it's just good. Like even if they know you're going to be here, I still think it's good. This is really nice. You're focusing on the enemy Widow because you guys are winning the fight. Patience is perfect. Yeah. This is a bit of a rank play here. I wouldn't recommend this in a serious game. Yeah, just take one shot and get out at least. That's not the end of the world. But yeah, I feel like this top left high ground on this map is just so dominant for Widow. This peak and then also the opportunity to go into the windows. And there's just so many like angles you can just control the angle on. And they're getting funneled to the other side of the map. I like this angle too a lot. It's like you're not scared of the enemy Widow. But now she's dead, so you can move in aggressively. Yeah, I'm happy with this fight. I mean, you guys are probably going to own them just because they're not doing anything about you, really. Like, you're just playing Kovacs. I like that, using the walls. Something I talked to a lot of people is like, make sure you periodically look around with the walls to see if somebody's flanking you. That was a good movement. Once again, you're controlling the high ground. They did switch to ball. Good to be aware of that. You know now. This is good as well. Preemptively backing off, and then round's over. Okay, easy round, easy round. Yeah, I'd say like the only thing really to work on in that round would just be like knowing that you want to be on that top left side. And honestly, I would even roll out there on Widow. I'm pretty sure it's just really good to roll out on the left on Widow on this map, or on the other map, just because of the barrel peak thing, or I don't know even what you call it, but you know what I mean, like looking through that box thing on the high ground.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's a peak you can kind of look for every mid fight. This is good. Playing the truck. I see a lot of Widows playing here. There's a really annoying thing you can do on this and like a lot of, not every type of geometry, but a lot of types of geometry that have like a steep slope that acts like a ramp or stairs. That like when you AD really hard on it, your head goes like up and down really fast. And it's really super hard to shoot you. So you're doing that there. I don't know if you're intentionally doing that, but this is a spot, or like any spot that has like a ledge or something that you can kind of like walk up and down really fast is super sick for the, at least at this point where you think they might be playing Widow and you're worried about that. But now you know they don't have Widow, so you're just free shooting. Focusing the hog is all good. Almost got that kill. I would say just make sure you put your gas out, like always, basically. Like, there's no reason not to have gas out. Even if your gas is going to do like whatever 50 damage to the tanks, like that's still good. It's worth your time always. Like get the cooldown going. Like even just like when you're in these weird fights, you can just shoot a gas like in the middle of the enemy team. And I mean the damage is actually pretty respectable. If you get like 2 people, it's 100 damage. And the wall, the power of it is the wall hack thing, right? They're probably not going to walk into the sight line when they're walled, but like the fact that you make them wall hacked and then they're like scared and they're hiding, it applies so much pressure, and it's going to take you like the time it takes to shoot 1 bullet to do it, right?
Yeah.
So keeping your cooldown cycled is something I talk about a lot. It's really, Widow is like, there's pretty much only one thing you do with it is put the gas out, but still good.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you just kind of exist on Widow sometimes, and that's like more than enough. Rather
Yeah.
than just, like hitting your shots.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the power that, I mean, the gas just amplifies that effect, right? It's like more zoning power. You know, like even it's like he does a little bit of damage to the Sigma. It's not like it really matters, but you charging your walls. Walls is a broken ult, so everything you do to charge it. In ranked, less so, but in like a team game, walls is like one of the dumbest ults because, you know, like your whole team is ready for it and they all use it really well. It's just like really stupid to play against. So when you're in this, like, I love also this back off to this high ground. I think this is, you basically want to camp here. If the enemy team is not playing, they have no threats on you. Like you are just playing Kovacs this game.
Yeah,
This is
it's
like,
pretty free till they swap, but yeah.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. They have to swap you. There's like no chance if they don't swap. Because I mean, I don't know. They have to just like kill your whole team because they can't kill you ever. I think your team's kind of overextending pretty hard here. I don't like this at all. Like your Genji dying in their spawn. This is classic ranked. This is like really bad. Gonna throw point control for no reason. Back to the high ground though. That's all you can do. That's a nice shot from him. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's really on your team. Like you pushed up because your team was going into the spawn, which is like, I guess that's the right play because they're literally in the enemy spawn, but it's a pretty bad mistake from them to. It's just never correct. People go overconfident all the time in rank though and push enemy spawn instead of, you know, holding the strong spot.
Yeah. This whole game was just kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I mean, you'll see this all the time in ranked, but I still like want you to be in the habit of like making the right decision. Like punish the enemy's dumb shit as hard as humanly possible by playing really smart. Like if they play some really bad strategy and they're like not. They're, you know, like playing like morons and stuff, like then all you just need to focus on like how can I hard counter what they're doing, whether it's like counter picks or whether it's the way you play and the way you position, like what can you do to be as efficient as possible against this dumb play. Because even sometimes in pro games, right, I mean usually you're gonna, I mean they're not gonna pick really bad comps and stuff, but people might like, you know, just like not deal with you well enough, and you might have this, you know, just having that mentality of like how do I punish what they're doing is like basically what makes you good at Overwatch or not, right? Like obviously his aim, but like the bigger part of, you know, picking the right hero and playing it the right way is your ability to like figure out the situation. It's a little bit unlucky, like high needs you through the tree here.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna hide in me, honestly, but
yeah, it's kind of a weird play, but yeah, I don't hate that. I like the switch here. At this point, once they go ball, then I think Widow is a lot less good. Ball's obviously just sick against Widow on this map especially. They just get you off the high ground easily. I think you're a little fast here. I feel like, oh, I guess it's OT. You guys have to touch. That's why. That makes sense. I don't like this thing where you're looking at your teammate. I know this is like, I don't know, maybe you're like, fuck, we lost or something, but this fight's still like kind of winnable. I think it's, even when you're low HP, I feel like it's still important to like try to stay as active as you can. And in this case, maybe you can't peek, but you could be like looking down to point, or you could be peeking out like a safe angle, like coming out like back here and trying to peek in like a more, like an angle where you can hide easily.
I think my main reasoning was because we almost had Nano and our win condition was Nano Blade, so I just wanted to stay in LOS. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like you can still do that without like looking at her, basically, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is just a super hard fight though. Once the Nano Blade gets nothing and you're trying to fight against Hoa, you're not gonna win that fight. But yeah, the only thing really is just that just trying to stay more active if you can. I mean, that's a tough scenario. I think in general though, if you can survive like one body shot, it's worth peeking. Like even if you die to one headshot, I would still peek there just because like you have to take, you're in a pretty desperate scenario, right? Even with Nano Blade there, right? He's going in like dry with a Nano Blade. You're already down a player and like he has no help, you know, so against Brig and stuff. So it's not like, even the Nano Blade is probably not enough. He probably needs more plays from you to like get somehow like edge out a fight win there. So even if you just have, if you have enough to survive one, I should below one body shot, I'd say just fuck it, just full hide, because you're just like fucked if you peek. But if you get like people, he's probably not going to hit the headshot right when you peek, right? I mean, maybe he does, but I think that's the sort of risk where you want to make sure you evaluate like, do we need to make a play here? Like how desperate are we? Because sometimes when you're desperate, you have to do really risky shit, like pushing on low HP or something, and just thinking about that evaluation in a fight. Like, wow, this fight's going really fucking bad. They have point position, they have Brig, and you know, especially when the Nano Blade's going off, that's like all the more reason to stay active so that maybe you bait some attention or some cooldowns or positioning so that the Nano Blade is more successful.
Yeah, I agree.
This is good. I like that you're turning and trying to find this Tracer. I think that's the right play. But your Hanzo does it first. Good awareness on this, that somebody might be pushing left. You can just you just run at this guy as soon as he... That's unlucky, but I think it's the right play from you to... As soon as he misses his flash, just run him over.
Yeah.
Unlike you get hooked here, but it's not really the end of the world. Alright, you're back. I like immediately top left flanking is good. Helping your team get these kills, also very good. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Okay. Is there anything you have to be worried about? Not really. The only thing you're worried about is like hook and sleep here. You don't really die to anything else, at least while your whole team's still alive. I would say, I don't know, this is getting like a little bit deep into it, but one thing on this map that I really like to do is, you know, that like there's sort of a point here where, like, let's see, you know, there's a point here where you know they're not pushing you, right? Like, you know they're not, like, you know, at this point I would say, like, if you know, you just think about like the time, it's just impossible, like they're not going towards you, right? Like if you think about the time that the enemy's been spawned, so even though you don't see anything here, you don't actually know that they're coming right side, you can kind of deduce that just because they haven't come to you. Like if they were going to come this way, the Sigma was going to be here, right? And he would be trading with you. So by the fact that no one's here to fight you, you know basically for sure that they're going to come this way. I mean, they could also go lower, but you know it's one of the two, right? And right side, this is a lot more likely what they're actually doing. So I would say, like, keep taking this peek and like get that final confirmation and even poke them a little bit before they come in, because, you know, they're just, you know, if you were holding tab and counting spawns, you would know that they aren't going to be pushing this way just by that process of elimination. Like, I haven't seen them here. They're going somewhere else. Koth map, it's really simple. There's only one other way they go, really. It's just this way. So I would say, like, get in this peak. Like, there's no Hanzo, you know what I mean? There's no there's no Hanzo, there's no like one shot. It's really just the sleep and the hook. And it's really low risk to be peeking this angle here, finishing your high noon or just annoying them, because McCree is like not really the best hero. Like if you run back this way, you know what I mean? Like you're not really that effective at fighting the enemy in this choke unless you're point blank and flashing somebody. Like you're more effective in this comp with the Hanzo at being an annoyance on the flank and like threatening to go behind. And then maybe if they commit out, you know, but like if they want to go this way, they're gonna wind up with their backline like here. They want to be here, right? If their tanks come out this way, they want to have their backline here. They do not want to like run out as 6 in a tiny clump and getting like AoE'd by Hanzo and stuff. So I think staying on the flank here, like even though McCree in the other comp when you had a Genji, your McCree is like the core DPS that's like holding space and breaking tanks. In this comp with Hanzo, I think it's kind of roles have been reversed. So you can be looking more for these flank poking styles and like, you know, trying to get vision on the enemy and trying to like burst down somebody from a side angle, because like you have the Hanzo who can do the shield damage, who can break people for it. You know, you don't need to worry about that role as much.
Yeah, just trying to maximize my value.
Yeah, I think it's really just a comp question, right? Because like if you had a tracer in this comp, then I would say, yeah, you need to really be making sure that when the enemy pushes in, you're standing there looking at the choke, you're putting pressure on the shields. You know, like if you had a tracer or a Genji or something, then that would be, even like maybe a Widow, that would be true. You would really need to do that stuff. But because you have this Hanzo, I feel like you can kind of interpret your role as a little bit, I mean, you're still McCree, right? But you can be a little bit more of a angling, like flanking McCree. Like I think you're doing the right thing turning on the tracer. That's like another aspect of the sort of flanker role, because you have this Hanzo to break shields and he's not that good at fighting tracer. It's good for you to do that turn. I also think here in that last fight though, you should have just stayed on the tracer. Like she went and hid from you for a second, but like she's not going to stay out of the fight, you know? Like you don't need to look at anybody. Like she's going to come for you, you know? Like she has to basically. So you can kind of anticipate that. Yeah, I mean, this is just so many. What the fuck? You got up the map.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a little like, if you're gonna do this push, I would say you want one person with you, like a Brig or something. I think that if this push is good, I actually like coming from an off angle here, especially like the same things I was saying before about, you know, hitting the flank angles. I actually like you coming from bottom right. I would just want you to call and get your Brig with you here, because this could be this is a super powerful push if you can take control of this with like low numbers of players. Because especially with their McCree tracer, like, you know, it's kind of kill or be killed for the McCrees here. You know, like if he doesn't kill you here with the tracer, then you would just chase in and kill him. He can't really escape or anything. You know, if he runs away, he can go back this way. He's probably going to die. Or he could like go down to the point, but it's a bad position. So I would say just ask for a +1 for that play, and then it's a really good play. Whereas when you go alone, you get 2v1. But if you had a Brig, I think you just win against McCree tracer. Like, you know, you did nice on the flash dodge. This guy's a free kill.
I didn't think both DPS would be there, but it's still a better idea.
Yeah, even if there's just a McCree there,
Yeah,
then
sure.
you just 2v1 him and he has no chance, right? And if it's 2v2, then you actually really needed the help. But you don't know when you're pushing in. You don't know what it's going to be. It could be like a Sigma or something you just can't kill. And then the Brig will like, you can just run away because your Brig's there. She can help you survive. And then it would be bad, obviously, for the Sigma to be there because they would lose top and stuff. But, you know, given that you just don't know what you're up against here when you're coming in on the retake, then that's the reason to ask for a +1. And Brig is like such a good hero for that specific purpose, for like pushing out of a flank, especially because you have Ana. If you have Ana or Bap who can like care themselves for a second or two, you know, they'll be all right with like the self nade or drone or something. Then I think it's very strong to like push a flank with a DPS and a Brig.
Yeah, Brig is kind of strong.
Yeah, a little bit. Good hero. This is fight over. I would say just run on a point here, honestly, but they kill you anyways. Doesn't really matter. Just inting for a kill is, I mean, you guys aren't, once that grab goes down and it's going so bad, then it's fight over with your tanks dead and stuff. Your Brig and Hog were dead early, so. But yeah, it's all fine. Take the reset. Yeah, and see, the funny thing is, like, now I like really would want, I mean, actually maybe not now because your team just got a kill, so it's good to just run out the safe door. But yeah, like I think retaking from bottom right here is actually really good with your comp with +1. Even like you could do it with the tank, but a little bit more sketchy.
I should have just fired.
Yeah, this is a little bit unlucky with the walls. I mean, I don't know, do you see the walls going up? He probably didn't realize the walls were gonna come up when he cast High Noon. Like, that's fucking, this map sucks actually. Yeah, so this was a good High Noon, but I think once you failed, I think you should cancel as soon as that happens.
Yeah, I kind of got greedy with it.
Yeah, like sticking it here is not gonna go well for you. Like this side of High Noon, this is like the best use for High Noon. I think is like there's a tank who can't lead the sight line. Let's just get a solo kill with High Noon. Like that is the best High Noon, or you know, typically, right? Unless you have some crazy combo, that's the best way to just have like High Noon's your only ult. Make sure it gets value. It's just fight a tank with it who's far away. But as soon as it goes bad, either you could like stay hidden here and try and hold it, but I think the best play once it goes bad is just canceling High Noon. Like, you know, High Noon to reload is fine. So it's just a big thing to like not get greedy, because that's basically should never ever work. And realistically, you should die for trying to do that to the
Yeah,
McCree.
I should have died here 100%.
If the McCree like just peeks you and two taps you, or at the very least he's gonna get a free headshot on you, and then you cancel, and you know, I mean, the fight's just bad from there. And the other power of canceling, if nobody sees you cancel, they don't actually know you canceled. So people might peek you as if they're like trying to just free headshot you because you're High Nooning, but you're gonna kind of bait them into a fight. So canceling is like is a lot of times is a really good play, is my point. Even like I liked your initial High Noon, but I think the punishment for canceling is actually really low. Like it's very usually it doesn't go wrong when you cancel, is what I'm trying to say. So like usually that can be a strong play here. I think if anything, you could be more aggressive, honestly, in this fight. Like, you know, once you get to this point, I feel like what I would have done in this situation, I think, is go high ground on this Ana. Yeah, like get this Ana out of here, because she is going to do too much here. And in general, I think on this map, that's a very strong way to play these late fights. Like once the fight is getting chaotic on point and you're on McCree or Soldier or Ashe or Widow or literally any hit scan or, you know, like long range damage dealer, for the same reason that the Ana wants to be here, you also like want to be here. So, and you're stronger than her in the 1v1. So don't let her take the power position, like take it away from her. Maybe she's not paying attention, you just kill her. But
yeah, farm from high ground, especially on this map.
Yeah, exactly. Because the cover on point is like actually like the part of the map you're on, it's awkward, but when you're up here, there's absolutely no cover, you know what I mean? Like it's Kovacs. So getting yourself that power position, especially when the fight's chaotic and it's like the end of the fight, that's the most important time to get the power position, because that's when no one's gonna be able to stop you. They're not gonna be able to tank jump on you or whatever.
It's a lot of timing.
Yeah, like going to those power positions as late as possible is really good. Here, I would honestly consider just backing. I mean, they almost C9 though. Oh my god, but I would have just backed out here. Actually, I think like even though you got this kill, you guys have no tanks and no Ana. Like you can't win basically. I mean, maybe you can win, but they just have two tanks and an Ana. Even though it's like kind of even numbers, I don't know. You could insta headshot this guy or whatever. I still think you can't win that fight, because these guys are like, you know, they're just gonna press their shields and you're never gonna win. Whereas if you just live here and like you have a fast reset, it means you're faster into the next fight. You're getting back into it. It's really important to be able to identify when the fight has no chance. Like I think down tanks is the most common scenario where it's like, all right, just give up. Unless you have Nano Blade or, you know, something ridiculous like Rally, then it's basically never gonna go your way with 2 tanks to 0 tanks. See, this is a great point where now it's like goes back. I really want you coming out bottom right now against this comp, because like your Hanzo, I mean, your Hanzo tried to go high ground. I think it's, I don't know where the Tracer killed him from or something, maybe flanked behind, but especially with your ball is already going bottom right, so that can be your +1 on this push, even just as a distraction or just extra damage. It's not like the best hero to combo with McCree, but still, you really like against Lucio in particular. I think it's really hard to go out this choke because they're just gonna speed on you.
Yeah. I don't know how we win this fight. We definitely shouldn't have, I don't think.
Oh yeah, it's because the enemy just pushed in. This is why. The reason is because they left this choke. If they literally just AFK right here, I think you guys lose like 100%. But they went in like this guy, like this play is just like, what is he doing here? And even if he kills everyone, this is still worse than just forcing the objective. And also it's because your ball's holding point. So the ball's gonna like win this 1v1 against Tracer, because it's a big advantage for ball when it's a true 1v1. So you kill the McCree, which is huge. You back off because you don't have the HP, which is good. This is all good from you. Like you're playing this really well in the sense of like letting them push and then getting a power position. Oh my god, that was very close.
Yeah.
Oh, you're dominating now.
and just clean up now. So
Yeah. So from them, now their mistake was even just going in at all, right? Like, I don't know. That's another like classic ranked, right? Even in GM, even at this high level, where people might think people are playing optimally, they're not. They're pushing in for no reason when they could just sit on the point there, or sit on the high ground, wait for you to contest point, run back to point with the whole team, and kill whoever's touching point. 6v5. They have all these valuable tools like Flux and Nano, and they just completely waste them by pushing through a choke for no reason. So, I mean, it's good from you. You let them feed, if that makes sense. Like, you let them make the mistake, and you punished it and stayed alive. So it's correct from you. But that's just like exactly the type of mistake to watch out for in any level of play, but ranked especially, where people are like crazy and they want to do these really dumb pushes for no reason. When like 99 just force point, especially against Wrecking Ball. That push could make sense against like a Rhine comp who can't touch point with anybody, or has to send their Lucio to touch point or something. Then you could rush in and kill them and have a good fight. But against a ball comp, it's really bad. Yeah. But you didn't make any mistakes there. Aside from, I think maybe you could have been a little quicker on bottom right push, because I think the problem for you is it went bad one time, and then you were like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to go bottom right like ever again. But I think
just call resources and
yeah.
call.
Exactly. Or I mean, even in that case, like you had like your ball like wants to do that. Your Brig would probably need to tell your Brig, or else he's probably not going to split with the other healer. You probably do need to ask for that. But the ball is like he should want to go either lower or bottom right. Like, he should want to do that every fight. So it should be really natural for you two to be there and pushing that together. And it's very hard for the enemy team when they're playing Rhine. They can't really hold both chokes, right? And in general, pushing into that Rhine in the single choke, that's where Rhine's at his strongest. Whereas, even just you coming behind and start poking at the back, that position's so good because you don't really need help. You can just play the cover and, eat the pills. If you do get poked, you'll have opportunities to still be effective. You're not like, in a place where there's no resources. The two minis on that side of the map are super effective for you to be there almost alone. Even if it's just a ball who helps you get through the choke, and then you're basically alone when he goes for a play, you can still make it work with just a little bit of, or like that distraction gets your team through the choke, and then everyone's there in the fight.